Welcome back to Detroit Wants to Know. I've shown you a solid neighborhood. I've shown you how to buy in that solid neighborhood using Detroit Home Mortgage. And now I'm going to show you the core of a solid neighborhood, and that's a great school. I'm going to introduce you to Ludington Magnet Middle Scholl. It's a DPS school. It's not like one you've heard of before, seen on the news. This is totally different. I have Principal Cosma with us. Principal?
How are you?
How are you?
Doing well, doing well.
Man, tell me about this wonderful school here in this middle of this beautiful neighborhood in Northwest Detroit.
Well, what's unique about our school, we actually are two schools in one. We have our magnet and we have an honor school. So that means our magnet school is 2.5 and above, and our honor school is 3.25 and above.
2.5 GPA and above?
Yes.
And the other one's?
3.25 and above.
Okay, well, let's start with the lower and move to the upper. What is the magnet? What happens there?
Well, with our magnet program, we have a well-balanced math program, which actually ends at Algebra 1 in 8th grade. And our students, they come in, we look at their test scores, but also even if they're a little bit below 2.5, we have a program that helps them get to 2.5. Our goal is that's everyone, when they graduate from 8th grade, will be at a 2.5 or higher. And then the honor school, all of them will be at a 3.25 or higher when they graduate.
Now, what is the difference between the honor school and the magnet?
The difference between that is...
I mean, the day, just give me the difference in a day.
The
like
difference...
a kid comes in, what happens?
With both programs, we do project-based learning, but in the honors program, they have a little more intense projects they work on, so that means that their problem solving may be a little more deeper that causes them to have more research at home. The magnet side does project-based learning as well, but they may not do as much as the deep research is more independent in the honors side. So they do, in a sense, I always call it like a doctoral program. They're doing their own research at home and have to come back, even though the magnet does research, but may not be as intense. As both programs have rigor going on, it's just in the honors program, the topics they pick tend to be a little more deep, and it causes students to do a little more independent work and with their research based when they come into the classroom.
Speaking of deep, you have an agricultural focus here as well, right? Tell us about that.
Well, with our agricultural piece, actually, our school, you've heard STEM, you've heard STEAM. Our STEAM is spelled S-T-E-A-A-M. So we actually have science, technology, engineering, art, agriculture, and mathematics. And with our agriculture program,
Agriculture in Detroit?
Yes.
Principal Cosma?
We actually have a permaculture project. For those that know, it's mound plantings when you actually take, if you look at our campus, we have a lot of trees. Those that have died, we actually cut those down and we planted them into hills, and you use the old fibers from the trees to plant with. And our students, they've learned that through their research, and it shows that if they develop the ecosystem, they can plant there for years without watering it.
I hate to sound like an idiot, but you just use the word campus.
Yes.
You hardly ever hear that used with a Detroit public school.
And with our school, the reason why we call it the campus, with our two schools, the students, they all share their sports, but we call it the Ludington campus because of all of the programs we have here. It's like a college campus because our programs, we start here 7 o'clock. Some of our students don't leave till 6 o'clock in the evening because of the programs we have after school and before school.
Tell us about your sports.
Our sports programs are very awesome. Even over the last 5 years, our girls basketball team has won the championships for the last 4 years straight, DPS and PAL. Our boys team won the championship a couple years ago. Our chess team won the state championship just a year ago. Our academic games was second in the state in their division. Our cheer team for the last 6 years was state champions for their division. And the list will go on. We have a football program. We have an individual golf program, which they match up with pros and do individual golf on their own. And that's sponsored through DPS as well. And this year we reopened the softball. Our volleyball team expanded. We had one varsity team, but this year because of the impact of the students, we had 2 girl varsity teams and 1 junior varsity team. So that impacted about 60 girls in the program.
Really? Let's talk about art real briefly before we go to the break.
Our art program is very awesome. Our teacher, Ms. Watson, she takes it to a personal, because she is a resident art herself, but our goal is we try to make our students resident artists. Right now, our students have art in the DIA. Every showing that's been a youth showing, our students have had pieces in it, and even they've been known nationally and statewide as well.
Okay. We've got to go to break, but when we come back, I want to talk about you a little bit.
Okay.
Because I don't think anybody's really met a principal quite like you.
Okay.
And they wouldn't believe you're at DPS.
Yes.
We'll be right back from Ludington Magnet Middle. 2 schools in one, honors and magnet. We'll be right back.
Eric wants to know,
what does DTE Energy do to make Michigan a better place?
Rodney can tell you. We do a lot, like youth education and employment programs. We fund over 500 jobs for youth all across the state. Many are neighborhood improvement projects just like this.
It's incredible.
Wow, that is fantastic.
So this is like a paint by number, this whole thing, right? Communities are such great places, aren't they?
They sure are.
I love the siding. Measure once, cut twice, right? DTE Energy. Know your own power.
It's all happening at the Detroit Seafood Market and PV Lounge in Paradise Valley, including happy hour weekdays 4 till 7. Mondays, it's Shrimply Paradise, with 30 shrimp prepared 5 ways for $30. Tuesdays, enjoy half-price bottles of wine with dinner for 2. Wednesdays, the Detroit Seafood Market offers all-you-can-eat crab legs for $30. The Detroit Seafood Market and PV Lounge. See you there.
It's happening in neighborhoods across the city. More and more families are discovering they can own their own home, often for less per month than renting.
We got the home for a wonderful price.
The architecture in this neighborhood is impossible to not fall in love with.
It all starts at buildingdetroit.org. Register to bid, attend an open house, meet the neighbors.
We are just excited about all of the energy. It's alive, people are moving in, we're engaging with one another, and there's a strong neighborhood association here that we really, really love.
Find your dream home at a dream price.
Every morning when I wake up and come downstairs, I still say, I can't believe this is our home.
This was the house that was meant to be.
Welcome home. buildingdetroit.org.
No, I was not supposed to live. February 8th, about 1:30 in the morning, doing my regular old job. In the process of the accident, I was in shock, but unfortunately I could hear my bones cracking. 3-4 weeks later when I woke up, I found out, I was missing a leg, body was pretty much destroyed. All I had to do was find ways to heal. He was handling things that day. Ben Johnson fought for me. He would definitely fight for you.
Welcome back to Detroit Wants to Know. We're coming to you from Ludington Magnet Middle and Honors Program. I have Principal Cosma here. Principal Cosma, you wanted to add one more thing. There's another program I left out.
We did have one program, it's our foreign language program with our Chinese class. It's a very intense class. Even this Saturday, we have 2 of our students competing in a speech competition that's in Eastern Michigan University this Saturday. And those young ladies were actually only in the program for 1 year. And through 1 year of the program, they're actually competing in the programs designed for high school students, but because of their commitment in the program, they're competing with high school students in speech. So they're going to be saying speeches in Chinese.
I can barely speak. See that?
Yeah.
I can barely make speeches in American,
Yeah.
in English. Thank you, American. Principal Cosma, DPS principals have been maligned all over the press in the last few weeks. You're, of course, not in that group.
Yes.
We know that. Give the people your background.
My background, actually, I'm from Southwest Detroit. I actually went to Owen Elementary, was a DPS school, went to Pelham Middle School, was a DPS school, and went to Murray Wright High School, which was a DPS school. Murray Wright Pilot for Life, even though that Murray Wright's not there, but our pilots are still known around Detroit. And ideally from there, I went to Oakland University. I taught in Pontiac for a year, but when it was time, I had a chance to come back to DPS. I came back for my first year teaching for middle school. Here I was at Blackwell Institute teaching as a middle school math teacher. And that's where, from there, I worked my way through from being an acting assistant principal to assistant principal at Golightly Education Center. From there, I moved to Ludington as a principal, here where I am currently now.
So how did you get the STEAAM going on? How did you get everything to put that together here?
Some of that came from my background, some of the teachers' background, because we already had a lot of teachers' interest in engineering, so we had engineering programs already existing. The arts, for myself, I'm a resident artist myself as well. I'm an oil painter myself as well. And that was something that, with our art teacher, with her excitement, we brought the art. Our science team has always been awesome. They've been getting gold ribbons in the Detroit Science Fair ever since Ludington was created. And our mathematics program, what's special about our school, we do go up to geometry, which for most middle schools, they go up to Algebra 1. But for our advanced students, they have the option of going up to geometry as well.
The future of Ludington. This neighborhood's going to grow. The future of Ludington, what do you see?
The future of Ludington, I see our campus growing, but also with our project-based learning that you're going to see our projects help the community. Because even right now, one of our topics for next year is they're trying to figure out how to improve what the River Rouge, because our River Rouge is right behind our campus, and our students, they're designing a project-based project for this month on how they can use the resources of the River Rouge and also improve it. And also with the water issues going on between other cities, they're actually exploring those. So some of our findings, we may be able to help solve some of those problems schools are going through. They may have lead, they may have water problems, so students can actually help with that problem.
And you solved your little bitty lead problem here.
Yes, ideally with that, our program, the district has a plan in place, but our students and parents, we've band together. We have a water system, we have water for all the classes. During lunch, we even have water prep stations that are from bottled water. And we've been feeding the students, and they have water for every class. Even our after-school programs, our parents, teachers, we have water stations so that are from water bottles to keep our students hydrated through the day.
Okay. Now, one last thing. You're alumni.
Yes.
You've got a bunch of alumni. A lot of people talk a lot of stuff about going to Ludington.
Yes.
What message do you have for the alumni of Ludington? Because they watch.
My message for the alumni...
Look in the camera and talk.
My message for the alumni of Ludington is that we need you always here, those that come out and visit us every year. We need those that are out of state to come out and support us. We got Career Day next Friday. It would be awesome to see you come back. I know that Ludington's always had a rich legacy of having their alumni come back and spend a couple of days with our students. That opportunity is open to you again to come out and support Ludington and show them what you've done in the world, because we know we have a great legacy of Ludington scholars around the United States and the world.
All right. Well, Principal Cosma, thank you very much for your time. I know you got a busy day today. Thanks for taking it out for us. Ladies and gentlemen, when we come back, we're going to go to Edison Academy and in the historic Grandmont subdivision. You're going to love this place. We'll be right back.